Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. May the victims rest in peace. Condolence to their families. May justice be served. I came across this interesting clip. This is not related to the case directly. To start with, this is for entertainment purpose only, and this is for fair use purpose. Let's get to know who Chief Fry is. Chief Fry used to actually work as an officer, police officer in Idaho, Moscow College. So he's in good contact with the college. He knows the students, assume, most of them. And he works closely with the dean. So let's relax and listen to this.
I started out as a PE major, and then I changed my major to criminal justice because I didn't think I could actually stay inside all the time. I wanted to be able to be out doing stuff. I love to hunt, love to fish, love camping, being out in the woods, just where I can relax and not have the stresses of everyday life. Our job is to give service and serve our community and serve the patrons of Moscow and the university as well.
Here at the University of Idaho, we have a very unique relationship with Moscow Police Department. They're located in one of our core central buildings, the University Commons, which is just down the hall from my office.
I think we have a very unique department. We work very well with the community. We involve the community to help us solve crime and do things, and we don't believe in being heavy-handed on people. We're very educated based. We try, even traffic stops, we probably write 25% of the stops we make, we'll get a citation. The rest of them are just an education piece. It's an opportunity for us to help people to maybe do better in driving or whatever the situation is.
Well, my experiences with Chief Fry when he was on campus, and also since he has been chief, has been, first of all, positive. He served on our campus as when he was a captain with MPD Moscow Police Department.
Corporal Green has been on campus now, I believe, about 3 years, and we try to select. Officers have different personalities, and Corporal Green's very community oriented, as you know. He's very educational. He wants the best for people always, and I think that's a good fit for up there. He understands that kids make mistakes and whatnot. And Officer Davis is the same. We hand select those a lot of times, and personality plays a lot of that into that who we select.
The city police is our campus police, and so there's no question if they are sworn officers or not. That's not even an issue with us, and so I think that comes into play when people have their own perceptions sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you, cops are scary. That's honest. Because I still get nervous when I see the reds and blues go on behind me, when I'm driving down the road. I think that's human nature. I think, right, wrong, or indifferent, we do get nervous because there's a cop behind us or because we're being pulled over. But I think it's our job to combat that and let people see who we really are. We want people to feel comfortable talking to us. But you got to realize, at the university, there's so many different cultures there too. Some people, when they come from these other cultures, the police are corrupt. The police are scary, and we understand that. So we're trying to overcome some of those barriers by making those relationships again, working with the international students, working with different groups on campus to give them a little bit better feel of who we are.
I've really enjoyed Chief Fry. He's a great positive energy. He's really outgoing. He's very proactive, and he's willing to engage to help our students succeed. And he readily recognizes that not all of our students make the best choices at times, but he doesn't engage in behavior that looks to demonize or make them feel bad about it. He sees it as a developmental approach with accountability, because that's what law enforcement does. They're the accountability aspect of our society, but he does it in a very caring, supportive way.
We see people at not always their best, but we have the unique opportunity to change lives and help people during the most critical times of their lives.
He was stationed up here on campus, did a phenomenal job while he was here, and I'm pleased to see him in this new leadership role as well. And I really enjoy our current officers that are stationed here on campus too. They're fantastic fellows.
I tell people all the time, walk up to the window and get to know us. We're just human beings. We're no different than anybody else. We just happen to have a job that gives us authority to take people's freedom away from them, which we take very seriously. We don't take that lightly, but get to know us because we are actually a pretty good group of people.
I think the Moscow Police Department and the University of Idaho's relationship is just really endemic of the strength that we have with the city of Moscow and the university. It's a classic example of how we can come together, provide a co-resource support for our students and our faculty and staff in a way that's beneficial to all. I've really enjoyed all of the officers that I've interacted with. I visit with them on a regular basis on a variety of things.
We have just as many big crimes as any big city does. We have homicides, we have abuses of children, we have heroin, we have methamphetamine, we have all the stuff that you would see in a big city. We just don't have it at the same amount, and we're happy for that.
I assure students and incoming families that they will see police officers more often here on campus than they ever have in their home community, and not because we don't think this is a safe place. It actually is very safe, but it's about, we want to make sure the police are seen as a resource for our students to be helped and be successful, as well as let people know that we have this relationship and that should things go sideways, they can easily call them and they'll be very responsive. They can get to anywhere on campus within 2 minutes. That's an incredible response time should there be an emergency that they need to be at.
We do deal with people in their worst times, and compassion, you have to be able to sometimes go to the level of where the person's at to understand really what they're going through. So we try to teach our officers to go to that point where they're at and sometimes struggle through with those people because of what they're going through. So there's times that we do are affected emotionally, like in these homicides and stuff, and deaths of babies and different things that we go on, and we feel the exact same stuff. Maybe not obviously to the extent that they do, but we still are impacted by it. So our compassion, and that's what people really remember, is whether we cared or not.
So like we heard, Chief Fry was an officer, a police officer with the campus, was working in the campus before he became the chief of Idaho, Moscow. It's nice to know that he has a great relationship and a close relationship with the students. So I assume he would know most of these students, like the Sigma Chi boys, all the other students under the body cams. I mean the body cams of all the visits to Kings Road, the victim's houses. So he would know actually most of the students. I just thought of sharing this with you all. He enjoys fishing, hunting, etc. This is one of the students 10 months ago when the Idaho quadruple murders happened. She talks a bit about the incident, and I feel sorry for her because she said she was really scared and concerned. She did not believe they were getting much information from the police about the suspect or suspects.
Idaho, she joins us live from Moscow this morning. Thanks so much for making time to chat. What has it been like for you on campus since you returned from Thanksgiving break?
For me personally, I've really noticed that there's so much tension, there's so much fear. I feel like, with a couple weeks left in the semester and finals approaching, campus should be full of students and really lively. And I feel like I'm only seeing a handful of students walking around. We're afraid to walk anywhere alone. We're afraid to sleep in our own homes now. Considering the circumstances around the murders. So we've all been really leaning really heavily on each other, those of us who are still in Moscow.
Has the university said or done anything to reassure you?
They've definitely made statements, saying, kind of be patient with us. Let us know if you have any tips or any information. But I don't think they've really shared enough information with us to make us feel safe. Scott Green, our president, and Dr. Eccles, the dean of students. I've seen them tear up in the press conferences and everything. They're feeling the same pain that we are. But I don't feel that enough is being really done to reassure us as students or even just as a community.
Well, and I'm sure that they have only limited information themselves, so people are just trying to get to some type of answer. But you're an apparel design student, so you don't have the option to attend remotely. You have to actually be in person. So how are the professors and the staff and other students supporting each other right now on campus? What's the vibe? I mean, do people speak openly about it? Or is it something where everybody knows, but people just kind of try to act like life is normal?
Honestly, it really depends on the person and the professor. Some of my classes have moved online, but others, I have to still go to the lab where all of our, sewing machines and equipment are. Students, for the most part, are just kind of quiet. We all know this is going on, but we don't really talk about it because for a lot of us, it's an emotional subject. I didn't know the victims personally, but a lot of my classmates who were in the Greek system did. And it's a really hard subject to broach. We will talk about, safety. A lot of my peers have enrolled in self-defense classes or, started purchasing security cameras, myself included. But I haven't noticed many people actually speaking about the victims themselves. I think as of right now, only 2 weeks later, it's still too painful for a lot of people.
Right. I can only imagine. Megan, thank you so much.
I wonder why the students weren't talking about the horrific quadruple murders in the beginning. I'm sure they were shocked. A lot of emotional feelings was going around. I can imagine the fear of not knowing who did this, if they could attack again. It's really sad. I wonder if the students weren't talking about it because they could have known who did this horrific crimes and they could have been scared because word passes around quickly in colleges, in schools, even at our workplaces. It's really sad. I wanted to show you all this picture because if you remember the clip that I played yesterday, that I uploaded, the one with all the sneakers, all the shoes hanging up the telephone wire poles. This is the same spot. So you can see at the beginning, all the telephone wires were empty. There wasn't any shoes hanging. I'll just show you. Now you can see them. It's exactly the same place I showed you all. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the victims rest in peace. This is a clear signal of what I'm still not sure. We can all kind of have a rough idea. This has something to do with the 4 victims. May they rest in peace. I wish the police brought down all these tennis shoes or sneakers and did a forensic test on them to check who threw up those shoes is there, because that could actually link them to more information. Please like, share, and subscribe. Justice for all the 4 victims. Condolence to the families. Bye.